what all living things have in common. If a living thing is on the earth, it has to take part in all of these different functions of life. And we have a little word we like to use to describe, to help you remember all the functions of living things. And the word is
GREDCRAD. GREDCRAD.
GREDCRAD. Let's look into what GREDCRAD is.
All living things grow. This is the G of GREDCRAD. All living things grow and develop over the course of their lifespan. For example, this plant started out as a seed, and then it grew into a seedling, and eventually into a large plant. Grow.
All living things reproduce. Living things need to make more living things so their species can keep going. Some living things produce asexually, which means that one parent creates offspring that is just like them. Other living things reproduce sexually, which means that there are two parents, a male and a female, that combine their DNA to make a new combination in their offspring. Reproduction is the R in GREDCRAD.
Energy. All living things use energy. Some living things get energy from the sun, like these sunflowers. Other living things get their energy from eating other organisms. Using energy is the E in GREDCRAD.
All living things have DNA. Every living thing has DNA within its cells, within the nucleus of its cells, that is the code for which traits are passed to offspring. DNA is a molecule that we will study, and it is the way that traits are passed to offspring. DNA is the D in it's the first D in GREDCRAD.
All living things have one or more cells. Every living thing on planet Earth is composed of at least one cell. There are some single-celled microorganisms and many also multicellular organisms. All living things have one or more cells, the C in GREDCRAD.
All living things respond to their environment. Living on Earth means that you might live in a cold place or a hot place or a watery place or a dry place, but all the living things that live in a particular environment have to be able to respond to the changes in the conditions in that environment. These people standing on this mountaintop, this snowy mountainside, are probably, if I was there, I'd be shivering because it would be cold, and their body is trying to make a change to help them warm up to respond to their environment. There's all kinds of other ways that living things respond to their environment. This is the second R in GREDCRAD.
And all living things eventually die. All living things, after using up all of their resources and living through their lifespan, they eventually die.
So we had an extra A. What was that from? Oh, it was the and.
We needed an extra vowel.
We needed an extra vowel to make the word work. We want you to just remember that all living things do all of these things. If an organism, I shouldn't say an organism, if something doesn't do those things, it's not living. You just have to remember the word GREDCRAD.
In summary, all living things grow, they reproduce, they use energy, they have DNA, they're made of one or more cells, they respond, and die.